everybody, welcome to the Selful Soul. My name is Gladys, and this is weekly pick a card reading, but I'm going to do something a bit different today. So firstly, I'm going to look at from now till the end of 2020. I'm not predicting. I'm not going to say what's going to happen because I don't believe that that's what the cards are about. What I will do is look at some of the lessons of 2020 and the rest of 2020. Earlier this year, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, actually, I did a reading about, at the beginning of this year, I think it was before one of my first readings anyway, and perhaps I'll link it at the end, was around 2020 and what kept coming up for me. And that was about finding balance between our divine masculine and divine feminine within, or at least starting to, that I felt that was a big message. The other big message that I felt that we got for 2020, because those first few days of COVID, the tower kept coming up in readings. And I do believe that that's exactly what COVID has been. It's been a tower. And for those who don't know what I mean, you know, the Tower card in the tarot talks about a structure, some structures for like a building, or it can be an actual tower. But the idea behind it is that some building needs to come down. Something that was built on a bad foundation needs to come down. So what it points to is that something in your life that you thought was solid, it might not be. And it could be a relationship, it could be a work partnership, it could be a partnership of some sort, but something you built a lot of hope on wasn't built on a strong foundation. And when the tower comes, most often it suggests that something's going to happen, something major will happen to blast that out of the water, to make you, it will shake your foundation. You know, it will be so obvious to you that you'll have to bring about change. So the thing about COVID is that it's been a tower for the whole world, right? It's been like this moment of a huge shock. The reason that we have the shock, and that's my belief, is that the reason we have this shock, you know, when you look at the tower, it shows a lightning bolt striking a big building. And when you look at it, it's like, it's an act of God almost, of something higher, something we have no control over. That's what COVID is, right? It's this bolt out of the blue. It's something that happened suddenly. That's what happened. But the reason it happened is because, in my opinion, the world has been set up wrong, or we've created a world that has a shaky foundation. And you can see it in all the inequalities, in all the things that don't work to serve everyone. That's my view. And I believe that COVID is giving us that reset button. It's there, and we as humanity need to look at it and say, okay, now is a chance for us to do things differently. And that's our opportunity to create a more fair society. That's my belief. Anyway, so as a follow-up to that, I thought, let me do a reflection for you on the year ahead. I'll do a general section. I'll try to keep all the sections shorter, even the picker cards. So I'll do a general section. I'll try to keep it to 15 to 20 minutes, looking at, I'll ask the question, I'll keep the question broad, like what have been the lessons and what are the lessons, something like that, I'll see. And then that will be at the collective level, and then what you, it's not what you should be or could be working on for the rest of the year. What advice does Spirit have for you? And I think what I'll do it in the form of the Celtic Cross. Let me just do it differently. You'll see. I don't have to explain the Celtic Cross, so I'll do a different type of reading. And my question will be, what do you need to think about? Okay, so that's what my question will be. What do we as the collective need to be thinking about for the rest of 2020? What guidance? And as individuals, what are the key things we need to be thinking about for the rest of 2020? The Celtic Cross, it has a certain plan. Anyway, you'll see. I'm not going to over-explain, you'll see it, right? So that's it. I hope it helps you. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If this works for you, if my style of reading works for you, and share with other souls who might enjoy this and who might get benefit from it. Okay, everybody, I will see you now on the other side. Bye. Hi again, everybody. So I'm going to use the Robin Hood, the cards for the collective. So what are our main lessons that we can take from 2020? Walking away. Oops. This camera angle feels weird. So that's the first thing. It has been about letting go of things that don't serve. And of burdens. Okay, I'll put that one out there because it wants to come out. That's the, like that. And that. Okay. That's what 2020 has been about. Looks like. You can see that, hey? And what do we need to think about going forward? Wow. So let me get my other concentrate in. Oh, no. See if I put them this way. Yeah, you'll see them. Okay. So the first thing I'm seeing is the cups, right? There's a lot of cups in that first row, and then there again. So the Eight of Cups talks about walking away from those things that don't serve you. The Ten of Cups talks about, it's kind of like the end of a long journey. So perhaps, you know, it's been stressful for so many, but perhaps it's going to be time to lay down our burdens for most of us, right? And then with the Four of Cups there, Four of Cups is about maybe boredom. And perhaps that's asking us to think about what it will be like going back to a kind of normalized society, or a new, what is the new normal, right? There's some lovely cards here. So With the Eight of Cups, it's clarified by the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So, you know, what I'm thinking is that perhaps many of us have walked away from stuff. I must keep an eye. We've had to. COVID has forced a lot of walking away from things that were not emotionally satisfying. That could be in relationships. It could be in work situations. It's almost like that tower has helped so many do that reset, even if it feels or felt like it was forced. The effect of it was to help you walk away, help us walk away from stuff that doesn't serve us. And perhaps that's what we are doing as humanity. I don't know, because the fact is that that's in our hands, right? But hopefully we are walking away from this where, I guess, where the cups are not complete, the cups full, some and not the others. If I'm going to, anyway, that's the way, at a political level or at a collective level, I would say that would be the collective message, that we are walking away from stuff that hasn't served all of humanity to find the Holy Grail. That's the Eight of Cups, but that's to find the other two cups that fulfills everyone. And the two cups are about balance, right? And they come up again there. I guess the thing with the Seven of Coins is that it's not going to happen overnight. A lot of hard work and patience will be required to see the fruits of whatever change we've started, as humanity have started initiating. Laying burdens down and the Lovers, that's really interesting. You know, my first impression was this person rushing to lay their burdens down, has carried this for so long and now is moving into something new. The Lovers, again, is about that balanced relationship. And for some of us, we are moving towards beautiful love relationships. And for some of you, that might be what's happening. But whatever you're moving towards is going to allow you to lay down those burdens. And perhaps the advice is that you will know this is the right thing by the feeling it gives you of being home and of release from burdens. So perhaps that's what the guidance will be. That's what I'm getting. As a collective, I think I think that as a collective, perhaps we are all sighing, giving a sigh of relief. Many people who really didn't enjoy lockdown might be, okay, I'm going to come back to this because I've got to take a call. Welcome back, everybody. You know, I had a really important call, which is a lovely call that I had to take. Okay, so I was talking about this. Oh, and what I saw was this person moving swiftly towards this feeling of, I mean, look how harmonious that is, you know? Oh, and then I was trying to think about, I was looking at what it could mean at a collective level. And I guess that's it, that we need more people to be laying burdens down. It's like we need to do life differently. You know, I'm sure it was my ex-husband who used to talk about, or maybe it's my brother, the two of them have these wacky ideas, like, why should we fear automation when automation can make life easier for everyone? And I think I guess the reason we fear it is because often that means profits for some, and you know, like it's like that top-down thing where some have so much and so many have so little, and so that we have this, we really do have this opportunity to lay burdens down, and to lay burdens down for everyone. I mean, we could equally go the other way, which is the way of greed and violence and war. But I think that as not just as spiritual people, I think that as those people, because there are many people who watch the tarot, or maybe the people I would like to watch my readings as well, in addition to the spiritual, the people that are on this consciously on the spiritual path, are those people who try to create a better society. And I guess the more of those that we have, the more chance we have to create a better society, you know? Or we can all be greedy and just want for ourselves alone. And that's the card, you know, like, well, that's the what triggered for me. Okay, let me just think about this, because this can be a card of greed. It can be a card of just being satisfied, but it can also be a card of greed, you know, like 9 cups, but for the one. On the other hand, we have offerings, and we can either say, that's not good enough, I want those 9 cups, or I can have offerings that are more about peace and about harmony, and, you know, like maybe more sharing, because an offer also implies sharing. And if you look at this person, so at a personal level, I guess the lesson has been maybe about learning to accept offers of love, of friendship. You know, so many of us, because of lockdown, all of us, people have had to recalibrate how we see relationships, right? Most of our relationships have been over cell phones and over Zoom and Skype and whatever. And so perhaps we're learning to value relationships more. So perhaps that's at a personal level. But I also feel like we need to be thinking about what is selfishness and what is selffulness. I'm just going to use those terms because for me, selffulness is a place of wholeness within, where we are able to be so whole that we can give of ourselves in a way that is more complete. You know that whole thing about giving from an empty space. Then we are not giving, then our giving is more about taking often, right? If we ourselves don't know ourselves well enough. And also, and then I guess at a collective level, what does that sharing of those 9 cups mean? Because if I think of the 9 cups, it's 9/10, right? Because that's 9 of 10 cups. So 9/10 goes to one person. And there's something about that other one being offered. There's something curious there that I'm feeling about that other one being offered and what that means. Well, I'm going to leave that one up in the air because I want to think about that one a bit more. What could that, it's like a little mystery that I want to explore. And perhaps you can as well. What could it possibly mean for you or for the collective? It's tantalizing. But I think it is about looking at relationships. But there's something more there, I feel. Anyway, so advice, I guess, or what we can imagine for the next few months. Like, I guess for me, this is guidance for what we can hold in our hearts for the next few months. And so we've got the 2 of Cups. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to explore this and perhaps talk about it in another, maybe 1 card chat or something, or maybe in my weekly 1 card next week. I'm certainly going to look at that a little bit more. And perhaps it will come to nothing, but I'm very tantalized by that. So let's look at the Two of Cups. So harmony in relationships. I can't believe that. We need to be thinking about justice. Justice, the Fool and new beginnings. Let me just leave them that way. The Sun, wow. And we have the Empress in reverse, so I'm going to see what the clarifier there is. Whoa, I want to do the star. Hey, people. Wow, this is such a beautiful reading, actually. So, okay. And goodness me. Okay, I'm going to leave that one in reverse. Wow. Okay. So I'm trying to do these a little bit hurriedly because I don't want to make it too long and then, yeah. Balance. There's something about balance, that equal give and take between lovers and between people. I think we need to be thinking about what is fairness and what is justice and what does balance within ourselves mean and how that impacts on our relationships. But firstly, that on ourselves. Wow. And having more just relationships, even if it's loverships, finding more balance within our relationships. I think that, I really, like I say, this is not prediction, but I get such a lovely feeling from these cards. It feels like now the energy of the rest of 2020 might be so much lighter. I hope that's true. But like I always say, we also impact on the way things are, right? But I'm seeing lots of light here. We've got the sun, we've got the star, we've got justice. And the Two of Cups talks about harmonious relationships. So how wonderful if more and more of us are moving into equal partnerships. We are moving into partnerships that are based on two people who love themselves, right? Or at least are starting to work on that internal love, that balance between masculine and feminine within themselves. Now, or should I say harmony? I just want to talk more about the masculine and feminine. I think that this idea of the masculine and feminine within ourselves is just archetypes that we can understand. And for me, the masculine and feminine are two extreme ends, maybe, of a whole continuum of different ways of being. And I believe that we all navigate ourselves different. In some ways, we might be almost like androgynous, I suppose. We might behave in like a way that is so balanced. In other ways, we might err towards deeply feminine behavior and other is in deeply masculine, sometimes in deeply feminine to our detriment, and sometimes in deeply masculine to our detriment and the detriment of others. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the balance, the more harmonious ways of all of those extremes, right? And for me, the harmony is not a pure balance. It's about knowing how to navigate those aspects of ourselves and where to be more of a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that, and where we need to draw on our divine masculines to help us be more firm. Trust me, I've just had a discussion with an amazing human being called Sia, and maybe he'll watch this. And he really is a reminder to me of how I also need to be thinking about Selful Soul as to give back to myself, to just find that balance, because I tend to give. And that's not good for me, and it's neither is it good for other people, And bearing, anyway, I'm not going to make explanations. I think those people who know me know what my dilemma is. And it's finding that balance, but it's also about finding justice, and justness. They're the scales of balance. There's that thing about balance again, about navigating that. And I think it's about a justice for all. And there we have justice again. So the Justice card, and we are moving into the time of Libra, fairness. I think that the world is needing to look at fairness within relationships and outside. And with the Fool here, I think I'm reminded again that it's all this change requires time, and it requires our effort. We probably are not ready yet to trust, but we are moving in that direction. And there's so many beautiful people pushing for a more just society. So that's awesome, right? And then we have the Sun and the Star. And I don't know what to say about these two beautiful cards, beloveds, because it's telling me joy. Open yourself to joy. And the route to opening ourselves to joy for the world and for ourselves is in this healing. And wherever you need to heal, be brave enough to go and do that healing. And healing, even if you have done things that other people see as bad or the world sees as bad, you could have been an abusive person, you could have been a bully. I think that this card is saying, be willing to see the healing that you need to do, because bad people are made, they are not born, right? And I think that we all need to own that side of ourselves, that claiming that so-called badness, and be willing to pour this beautiful, divine, healing water on our wounds. I'm just blown away by this beautiful message. And then we have the Empress and the High Priestess in reverse. So perhaps, so the Empress, let me look at the Empress first. So this is like Gaia, this is Mother Earth. And perhaps at a collective level, we need to all be taking more responsibility for taking care of the earth. And even if that's by us separating our dirt, our like paper, plastic, whatever the case might be, by taking care of animals, by being conscious of not littering, and just all of us being more conscious of what little ways we can be caring of Gaia, of this earth that we live in, on, that belongs to all of us. How do we take care of her better? Because right now she's upside down. So I think that there's some kind of maybe caution. Maybe the world is feeling stress. Maybe the earth is feeling stress, and that's some kind of caution. And imagine if we all did our bit, whatever that little bit is, right? And then with the High Priestess here in reverse, let me think about that. I feel, okay, so we're doing all this healing, and perhaps this is for next year then, because right now the High Priestess is this divine and beautiful wisdom, and that wisdom is hidden, right? In the reverse, the feeling I'm getting is, I'm looking at the throat chakra there. Perhaps we will be starting on this journey towards our high priestesses within ourselves, or maybe we are being guided to start looking at that, because it is in reverse at the moment, that Gaia, and there's a link between the two, that perhaps our healing of the earth, so that's our personal healing, and maybe this is our collective healing, and perhaps that's going to take longer, right? Because it requires us to go within more, to seek divine wisdom, and I'm saying divine wisdom because the high priestess, as opposed to the high priest, is unearthly wisdom, whereas the high priest is earthly wisdom. It's the books and it's science, and which is so important. But this is that deeper inner intuition and wisdom. So perhaps if we all start trying to get in touch with our high priestesses and trying to see what divine wisdom, what divine guidance is for us personally on our journeys, we start to create a more just world, and a world that looks after the earth, the animals, the children, the people, as a mother would, as a parent would, you know. But there's something about these two as well. They're such opposite energies. This is the warm, loving, whereas the high priestess has the ability, there's so much deep wisdom, but she has the ability to be detached. I think that the high priestess is saying, you know, maybe people need to heal first, and we might, there's something that needs to be looked at with regard to this, or there might be, it might come to the surface, right? And maybe that's what the high priestess is also saying. That this is still a mystery to us. Maybe this one is still a mystery to us. Maybe this is going to be revealed more. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Now, I don't have to have all the answers, and I can leave some things for you to think about and for me to think about. Sometimes the card reveals that little bit, and that's what I'm getting. And perhaps this is the mystery. And perhaps you have a take on this. You know, for me, yeah, there's something hidden that perhaps we have to work harder towards, and it's something to do with Gaia and fairness, and creating a more, Gaia's upside down at the moment, something to do with healing the earth. Okay, let me leave it. Okay, beloveds, I'm going to move on now to the pick a card. Okay, let's see. And I'm going to do the Celtic Cross, but I will try to keep these short. So I'm going to use, oh gosh, I must give you your cards to choose from. I'm going to use the same cards as your Sodalite. Amazonite. Oh, okay. Australian Agate came up again. And Selenite. So Selenite came up before. So you can make your choices. I'm trying to think if I must read from here because I'm not too sure. This serves a different purpose, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to just let you choose from what you're drawn to. If I think about Sodalite, I think more throat chakra kind of energy. It's very a solid energy, you know. With this, I think about heart chakra, like flowing emotions. With the Australian agate, I get the feeling of that intuition again, two sides, like the almost like throat chakra, but also deep, deep intuition. That's what I'm getting there. And Selenite, Selenite is such a beautiful card. It's very much like I associated with Selene, the moon. So it's about like high priestess energy, you know, like that inner wisdom, that being in touch, maybe working with the moon. So I'm going to leave those there. You might have different interpretations. So I'll leave it and for a moment, and you can decide. Or you could pause the video. Oh, okay, sorry. That would be the first group, Sodalite. 2 would be Amazonite. 3 would be Australian Agate. And 4 would be Selenite. So let's start with Sodalite. So welcome back, Sodalite group. I'm going to try the Celtic Cross, but I'm going to try to do it quickly. A quick run through of your 2020, what guidance and things you need to think about for 2020. What are the possibilities? Okay. So at the center of your reading, you have the 7 of Swords, and you have it in reverse. And it talks about some kind of tricky situation, like a thief, like something that didn't turn out the way you expected. Let me get it. Ooh, okay. So it involved heartache. Okay. So you have at the center some trickery. I don't know. It sounds like something really bad went down. I'm not too sure. So I'll probably, if I have time, I'll draw a clarifier. And you are now heartbroken. So that's what I'm getting from this reading, that this group is going through some pain, but also some healing. In the past, you have the Magician. So, you know, the Magician is in the upright, but the Magician is a tricky card because in the context of this, it could have been someone who did you down, used their power against you. And what you need to be thinking about is the Emperor. Okay, so these are similar energies. Like the Emperor can be a bully, but the Emperor can also be very strong. And so I guess your advice for the year ahead is to own this power of the Emperor. The Emperor knows how to put boundaries and to claim their own space, you know. The Emperor doesn't take shit from people. So within you, there's an Emperor. And you need to be leaning on this energy within yourself and take back your power. You need the surface, and the high priestesses come again and come in the upright. There's some wisdom that you know, that you don't know that you know. And, you know, in the near future, we have the moon card, but also in the reverse. So what I feel is there's this little bit of fear and not trusting your inner wisdom. And that in itself is advice for you for the year, the rest of the year, is to start confronting this fear. What is it that you're afraid of? Are you afraid you'll never be loved again? We're all worthy of love. We're all lovable. We are all lovable. Are you afraid that your heart won't heal? Of course your heart will heal. Sorry about that. So I feel your great task is getting in touch with the high priestess within yourself, realizing that you have that inner wisdom. and seeking that wisdom out. And that comes from being conscientious about doing your meditation, just sitting for your 20 minutes every day, writing in your journal. I'm just seeing her. Okay, so that's one practice that I would advocate for anyone, writing in a journal. I thought I had mine. Oh, I do have mine here. I'm going to show you this so that you can see what I mean by writing in a journal. I mean this. Scribbling in a journal is more like it, right? You can't read what I've written. And that's the beauty of the journal, or its power lies in that stream of consciousness, because, and what I mean by stream of consciousness is just writing your thoughts as they come and just throwing them onto the paper, because it's in doing that that you empty yourself. And by some kind of miracle, your beautiful higher intelligence starts, one, it relieves you of your stress. Two, you find answers to things that you didn't even know you had questions for, you know? I really am a strong advocate of that. Now, I can see that this thing is back to front. Anyway, it's just the way it is, right? Just have to use it that way. Okay, so journal, meditate, or just sit in silence for a few minutes, like 20 minutes, half an hour of your day. That's not a lot to ask. You know, we think we're so busy, we don't have time, but meditation really does help you make time, because that stilling just helps you to do everything from a quieter place. So I think your work for the rest of the year is to start working with the high priestess and finding that high priestess within yourself. And so that's beneath the surface. This is you. This card represents you, and it's the sun in reverse. So I can understand with this, whatever's been going on, that you would be feeling like this. The sun upright is absolute innocence and joy. So it feels like you might be feeling like robbed of your innocence in a way, like you can't love again, you can't feel again, you're closing your heart. And you know, maybe that's where you need to be for now, because the high priestess doesn't just open her heart, but perhaps your way to your healing is through this high priestess, where that journey to becoming more in tune with yourself leads you towards being able to be detached from outcomes, you know, being able to love, but with detachment. Or let me just say, knowing when to detach, knowing that you can be okay whether or not someone loves you. And that is our journey, I guess. And then you have this, which is an offer around you, an offer coming towards you. You will know if this is true or not, but this does imply but the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving offer. It could be work, it could be a relationship, but there's this feeling of an offer coming towards you, but very slowly, but also a very genuine offer. I'm curious, I would love to know if that's in your orbit. And then your advice from spirit, from your higher self, is this. It's the Five of Wands. And sorry, okay. And the Five of Wands is about competing interests. And I'm going to get a clarifier for that. So as advice, I think it's just advice to, and then you get the King of Wands. Look at the difference between the Five of Wands and the King of Wands, right? The Five of Wands, the competing interest creates energy that is dispersed, whereas the King of Wands has one wand and it's powerful energy, right? Whereas that can weaken. So I think that your caution is to watch yourself where you don't need to get into like dog fights or unnecessary competition with others. Okay, I hope that makes sense, beloveds. And And then you have the star card in reverse. You have the sun. So let me just say, you have these beautiful, look at this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your 9 cards, of your 10 cards are major arcana. So it looks like a big change happening for you. So yes, you're going through this pain, but remember you have you need to think about behaving more in this way. And you need to think about, for under the surface, your unconscious, your psyche needs to be drawing on the high priestess for your inner wisdom and your belief in yourself. Trusting in your own divine wisdom. Your intuition will lead you to the right thing for you. And then you have these, I know they are in the reverse, but these are such powerful, positive cards. The star is about healing. The sun is about innocence and joy. And yes, you might not be able to see it, but it's there beneath the surface for you. That is where you're going towards, and you are slowly working your way towards your healing. Don't resist your healing, Cry, I'm just thinking about the star card now in the reverse as the tears that painful tears help bring about transformation. Painful tears allow us to heal. So allow yourself. If that's how your year will carry on, that's fine. Keep going back into your high priestess and you will see. Do your journaling, do your meditation. Just breathe this energy in. Just look upon this. Meditate just looking at this person and own this energy for yourself. I know I repeat this and I'm going to repeat it. Make your spirituality simple. It's the easiest thing to just look at this card and imagine you owning this energy. If you know what shape-shifting is, it's when we take on in our imaginations the shape of, say, this lion or the shape of that woman. Likewise, the shape of this, we take on that energy. Close your eyes, take on that energy. Just make it, and it can start just simple, like a minute, or every night, just taking on the energy of the high priestess. And then see what happens for you. Just see how powerful that can be for you to transform you. And you start realizing, oh, I'm learning detachment. I'm learning to trust my own wisdom. I'm learning that there is this high priestess within myself. How awesome is that? Likewise, with the emperor, in your actions, perhaps you have something scary to confront someone with. You've got your high priestess inside, but you've got your emperor as your protection. I hope that makes sense. What I'm saying is use these images in your imagination to make you feel how that image, so that the emperor has this power, has the boundaries, no bullshit. This is how I want things, and you're not going to mess with me. Drawing on that energy when you need it, and drawing on that energy as you need it. And for me, this is the more long-term underlying energy, that strengthening of yourself inside. And this is, the fake it till you make it kind of thing. So it's just to help you through this phase of when you're feeling a little bit powerless. Just draw on the energy of the emperor. Okay, I was going to do clarifiers, but I'm going to leave it there. I don't want these to be too long. So I hope that helps, dear hearts. And may this loving water pour healing on your heart. And may you find that divine high priestess within yourself and all the healing you need. Lots of love to you, Group 1. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope it helps. Be well. Bye. Welcome back, Amazonite group. I'm going to use the Morgan Greer Tarot. So when I look at Amazonite, I think heart chakra. And I'm looking at the little bits of red there. So maybe a little bit of pain and maybe some healing. that's going on, and perhaps this group is working with healing the heart chakra. Let's see what comes up for you. I'm going to do the Celtic Cross. So you have Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It could be, you could be an earth sign, but the issue could be about money and finances. And then you get the Hanged Man in reverse, which tells me that perhaps your work over the next few months is to allow yourself to be suspended like the Hanged Man. Perhaps you've got rigid views on finances. Well, let me see the rest, what comes up. Do the whole Celtic Cross and then we'll take it from there. Okay, you get the, what you need to think about is the Knight of Rods. Healing the Tower. Okay. Does feel like some heavy energy as well. Yeah. Oh, but then you get the Justice card, and okay, in the near future, in the outcome. But I just want to remind, for me, the outcome is influenced by our actions. It's not definite, but it is a huge thing to work towards. It's something wonderful to work towards, and to know that the possibilities are there, So the Queen of Pentacles at the center, I think that you might be dealing with something to do with abundance, but maybe it seems like you can't see where your abundance is going to come from. And I think that for the months ahead, you really need to have an attitude shift. I know that's easier said than done, but you have the Hanged Man, and you have the Hanged Man in reverse, which suggests that you're not really keen to do you don't like to be your boat to be rocked. You don't want it to be rocked. You don't really want to, or you are fighting this, looking at stuff from a different perspective, and you're being invited to, even if that's the work you do, if you keep working with the Hanged Man as your key card for, or your key archetype or lesson for the months ahead, I think you'll have some amazing insights. Then what you need to think about is the Knight of Rods. You can see it's been chewed by my puppies. The Knight of Rods is, again, that in and out energy. Let me think about it. And you have the Knight of Rods in reverse. So perhaps you are being, let me just take a clarifier on that, but perhaps you are being, your caution, your guidance, your strong guidance is just to take it slowly. Don't rush anything. I think the Tower came out, I've had to do this reading in stages today because I've had such a busy day. And then you get the King of Coins in reverse as well. So I feel like you are being guided to not go for quick fix solutions to things. Just take things slowly. The King of Coins in the upright is steady, stable, very, very abundant. So is the Queen of Coins. You know, they don't worry about money, but I feel like you are concerned about money, and you're being encouraged to look at things from a different perspective and don't rush into things. Don't look for the quick fix. Okay. In the past, you have the star card. The star came up in the previous one. So I think there's a lot of healing going on. I think the previous group got the star, and we got the star in the main reading. So you are being encouraged to, I think you've just come out of this healing stage, but there's something to do with you resisting your healing maybe. And I think that you need to take your healing seriously, confront your pain, whatever it is that's making you anxious, confront it and deal with it, you know, take your healing seriously, even if it is about having long warm baths, even if it's about doing Reiki, talking to a good friend, spoiling yourself. That's all part of our healing. When we treasure ourselves, that's part of our healing. And I think that you are being guided to take your healing seriously. I'm kind of trying to do these quickly because I don't want them to be too long. Anyway, but I want to get the messages across as well. So here you have the Tower, and you have the Tower in reverse. And the one card draw that I'm working with at the moment is the Tower. And the Tower is, you know, when you get the Tower, this here is, oh, sorry, I didn't even realize you can't see the cards. I'm doing this different spread, so I'm not used to it. And also I'm using a new computer, so I'm busy chatting and not seeing that you can't see. Okay. So where was I? And the Tower is can you see the structure? There's a lightning bolt, and it's like this lightning bolt comes from heaven, or like an otherworldly place, like a higher power, striking this castle or the structure down, because you can see it's built on water. It's not like the Three Little Pigs sort of thing. It's not built on a solid foundation. And that means that something that you have been working on, it could be a marriage, it could be a partnership, a work partnership, it could be a project, but something about that project hasn't been built on a firm foundation, and beneath the surface, this is what is brewing. I think you know it, but you are resisting that upheaval, because the Tower does bring upheaval, and it does bring, it makes you feel unsettled, because if you think of the Tower and those people falling out, it's not comfortable when something has to change suddenly. So you need to think about what that is that needs this transformation and allow it to fall down. Allow the guidance to let something go. And the Hanged Man is also about letting go. So I think that's a strong message for you. You, I see as you're coming up as the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is, the pages are kind of innocent. And they are also they're like new beginnings. So it feels to me like you are taking a step into being more honest. With the swords there, the swords are about honesty. And in this deck, the page is quite strong, moving forward quite firmly. So I think you are coming into your own as a person who will speak your mind and speak the messages, speak what you need to speak to people that you need to speak those messages to, and you need to trust yourself. Yeah. And even if you feel vulnerable, you're still willing to speak your mind about issues. And what is around you, there's a lot of powerful energy around you. You have lots of, look at that, 1, 2, both the first and this group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your cards are major arcana, and the major arcana almost talk about the big life-changing things, almost like those things that happen despite what we do. And the Fool is this new beginning. So around you is a new beginning wanting to happen, but again, you have it in the reverse. So there's something that you're afraid of. You're afraid to trust a new beginning, and yet you want that new beginning and you're ready for it. In the near future, you have an unpleasant card, and I'm going to get a clarifier for this. So I think that the caution here with this Page of Swords, I'm seeing the Page of Swords now as needing to practice your discernment. And by that, I mean being able to see when something is not good for you. Because it is possible, whether it's in this partnership or not, that there's, this is like sneaky behavior, and you will know what it is. So there feels to me like there's sneaky behavior around you, or the potential for sneaky behavior, but you are coming into your own, and you will be able to deal with that and confront it as the Page of Swords, being willing to speak your mind and cut out, stand your ground about something that is not working in your favor. And you have the Justice card here, so I'm just reminded about that. And the Justice card in the upright is saying, justice will be served, that you have justice on your side. You know you haven't done anything wrong. Trust that you have justice on your side, that divine love, divine order, divine, your higher self, your God, however you see life, will work in your favor, is working in your favor. And look at that. You have the 1x and x1, so 9 and 11, but in the Roman numerals, they mirror each other. So the 9 of Cups in this deck, or the 9 of Cups, is about fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. So it says to me that justice is working in your favor to bring you emotional fulfillment. And I think that's what you need to work towards and trust and draw into your life over the next few months. Trust that that is what is the underlying energy. And then your advice, your big advice, is the Sun card. The Sun card in the reverse, the thing with the Sun and the Star card, they're such powerful light energies that even in the reverse, they give a sense of that possibility. So I think that you need to try to look at things, and there's your perspective as well. Again, try, if you have a tendency to look at things negatively, just try to change it around. And a powerful practice is a gratitude diary. And a friend of mine on Facebook, her name's Karen Reed, she publishes on Facebook every day her gratitude. 5, I think 4, she does 4. I write in my journal every day, I put 5 things that I'm grateful for. That simple practice helps you look at things from a different perspective. And even if it's the same thing every day, for flowers, for waking up, for food in my belly, for my son, for my puppies, for my home, for safety, it's amazing how that can change your outlook. So my beloveds, I'm trying to make this not too long. I think, I just want to say the sneaky behavior, if it's you, you might be tempted to do something sneaky, and it comes back to this thing about shortcuts, not taking shortcuts. Just watch yourself, okay? And just be on the lookout for anyone who's trying to rob you of yourself, who is not working in your favor. That's all. And also the same goes for you. Be careful not to do things that don't sit right with you, right? So in summary, I would say, dear hearts, your work for the rest of the year is to try to look at everything from a different perspective. Just work with the Hanged Man. You have this lovely image of the hanged man here, just chilling, letting go. And in most of the tarot, around his head, you see light. And I guess that's why in this one is yellow hair, to indicate that light. And the light means enlightenment. So that by letting go, by allowing yourself to look at things from a different perspective, which is the hanged man, look at the world from a completely different. Just check yourself when you tend to look at something from the same way. Just say, oh, okay, this is not working for me. Let me try and look at it from another perspective. And in doing that, you gain enlightenment. You learn something new about yourself, about life. So you are being encouraged to work with the hanged man. The hanged man is upside down, but is happy to be upside down. Right? So just use the hanged man in the months to come and just see how that works for you. And I'd love to hear your feedback. How has it been? What do you feel? In fact, let me know if you like this form of reading. I'm sorry that it's back to front. I just realized using a new laptop. So I'm not used to, well, the settings and stuff. But tell me how that worked for you, beloveds, how this works for you. Please, if this resonates, please like and share my videos. I'd really appreciate that. And share with other people who might need this, who might benefit from it. So I'm summarizing with that. Be clear with your communication. Allow what needs to fall. Do your healing work. Allow yourself to heal. Don't take shortcuts, beloved. And don't cut your nose to spite your face. Don't cheat when you can be honest. And don't let anyone else cheat you. And then welcome the sun into your life. Trust that the sun is all around you. Do your gratitude diary, your gratitude journal, and open yourself to new beginnings. But there's your central card there. Okay. Thank you, beloveds. I hope you have a lovely week ahead, and I will be back hopefully in the week with your midweek one card, and then at the end of the week with the weekly pick a card. Okay, take care. Lots of love to you. Bye. Welcome back, Australian Agate. Let's see what comes up for you. I'm thinking third eye, some deep stuff. And I'm going to do the Celtic Cross today. Card fell out upside down. It's the 8 of water. I'm going to do it this way because I think that will there be more space? No. There won't be space with this big one, but so I will just hold up to you. Let's see. 8 of water is about letting go, patience. That's the Temperance card. The Strength card, the 8 of Swords, the Ace of Fire, Wands, Ace of Wands, 7 of Wands. Let me see. Burning myself there. There we go. That's better. Okay. Let's see. Maybe you may be a Virgo or dealing with a Virgo. Look at that. Last card is huge transformation going on. Okay. So everyone has powerful, I can't believe this, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of your cards are major arcana. So there's lots of powerful stuff going on from now to the end of the year. That's what I think. And I'd love to hear your feedback on that. So you get the 8 of water, the 8 of cups. That is, and we got it in the main reading as well, walking away from things that don't serve you. However, I'm feeling you have it in reverse. So perhaps you are finding it hard to walk away from something right now. And that's because you are not, you might be working towards that balance and harmony within yourself. And perhaps that's what you need to be doing more of, that work. But right now you are feeling slightly imbalanced, and that's why it's difficult to walk away, right? You come in with the Strength card in reverse, and that's, I think, echoing this. It's also an 8 card. So somehow you're feeling out of touch with your own power. That's what you're coming, the energy in the past. Someone or something made you feel very insecure. You've got another 8. So that's quite powerful, right? 888. 8 is the sign of the number of infinity, which is a very powerful spiritual number, you know. So there's something powerful going on here. So you get the 8 of air, and you know, this is what you need to think about, and you need to think about where you feel trapped and you're not trapped. So you can untie those bonds that you feel are tying you. And it could be something like you're stuck in a place because of finances, although not finances, nothing, there's nothing, you've just got swords and air and fire, swords and wands. So passion, hidden heart almost stuff. So I don't know. So that's what you need to think about, how to loosen those restraints that you have put around yourself, that you feel someone else has put around you. You're not trapped. You think you are. So let's look at what the advice is for you, how you can deal with it. But in the unconscious, there's this new beginning that wants to happen. Can you see it, like it's brewing there, and it's upside down, it's in the reverse. So like I would think, when I look at this version of the Ace of Wands, I see that passion leaking out, and it's not even leaking out, it's like flowing out, right? So I would say this is a caution. There's some new beginning that wants to happen, that you are, because you're feeling trapped, you're not harnessing that Ace of Wands energy. The Ace of Wands energy is a powerful new beginning. So just think about that, where you are not allowing yourself to have a new beginning. You're letting your energy, your vibrancy leak out because of something. You know, these are general readings. So you need to apply them as they fit, and I hope they fit. I do try to keep them as general as possible, but that's what I'm seeing. There's some place where you are allowing your vitality to seep out. And then there you go again, the fire. In the reverse, it's you not standing your ground, beloved. It's you not standing up for yourself. So there's something where you are being guided to stand up for yourself. Right? So think about that. Where do you need to stand up for yourself? That's also a fire card. And then you have here, representing you. You could be a Virgo. The Hermit represents Virgo. You could be an earth sign or someone who has those qualities. And here you're feeling really toppled. But the sign of Virgo is about retreating to access that information. You have the keys. Any one of those keys can fit through, open that door. But the key, well, I guess one of those keys. There's so many keys there. And the only way you'll know which key opens the door is by withdrawing within, going within and doing your inner work. Because you're inside, the Hermit is that wise, old soul within us that goes into the silence, in the silence within, and in the silence within finds the solutions, right? So, beloveds, that you have that in the reverse. I think that you need to be trusting yourself to do that inner work. And you need to be giving yourself the time to do that inner work. I think there's a lot of instability here, or you are feeling unstable, and you need to be pouring some love into yourself. And around you, you have the 9 of air, which is another sign of sleepless nights and worrying about stuff. In the reverse, it might be that you are starting to let go of those sleepless nights. I hope so. But you definitely do need to let go of those sleepless nights. You need to let go of the worrying and being in your head, because that being in your head and making yourself believe that you are trapped is what is getting in the way of your fire. And your advice then is the 2 of fire. And the 2 of fire, it represents going on a journey, but you're almost stuck before taking that journey, right? So what I'm seeing here is that the 2 of fire is maybe your guidance is to do the inner work wherever you see yourself imbalanced. I think a helpful way of seeing that imbalance is thinking about your masculine and feminine. So think about what you see as masculine in the positive and what you see as feminine in the positive, and the negative aspects of those. And wherever you feel yourself and in the situation, and for the next few months, I think that you need to be just focusing on that masculine and feminine, the 2, and the 2 that's implied in the Temperance card, and see what you need to draw on to bring balance. Let's say, for example, you perhaps in work relationships give too much. Perhaps you feel taken for granted. So think about that. What does that feel like? Does it feel like a negative feminine energy? Does it feel like a negative masculine energy? What does it feel like for you? And what aspect of yourself, masculine and feminine, what aspect of that within you do you need to draw on? And I speak about the masculine and feminine. I think that they are 2 extremes, but there's so many variations in between, and we have access to any of those. I'm trying to explain so that, I realize that some people are very new to the tarot, and sometimes I can get very esoteric, because I also know that some people are like that. They enjoy that, me talking in a way that is quite abstract, because I trust that you as the viewer will make meaning of it, or translate it. Anyway, so think of the divine masculine and divine feminine within yourself, and where you need to find balance in any given situation. And that is your healing. That is your healing. Just trying to find that balance is what is going to help you feel less trapped, help you walk away from things that don't serve you, help you turn this ace upside down and realize your passions and be able to act on your passions, And but I'm thinking for the rest of the year is that, however, just don't rush forward. You don't have to deliberately turn this ace upright. You don't have to deliberately go and make things happen. Just trust that is beneath the surface, and your work is to find this balance within yourself. I just want to say, I think that our whole life is towards finding balance. So it's about harmony. It's about letting the different aspects of ourselves work in a way that is in harmony, so that we have a richer life, So, so the Temperance card is here it says patience. So maybe you need to be more patient with yourself as well. So think about that, because the Two of Fire here is also, you can see, is at a standstill, and that's okay. The Two of Fire comes before the Three of Fire, and the Three of Fire is when you're now waiting for your ships to come in. You're waiting for those things to come in that you've worked for. Now you're still doing that work, right? You're still doing that work of healing, of finding balance within yourself. So think about what balance means for you. If I like the idea of the divine masculine and divine feminine, because if I'm feeling very vulnerable in my heart, I might want to picture maybe I work with the cards, so I would probably picture the Emperor and use that image to make me feel strong. Or I would use, if you work with ancestors, or if you work with your higher self, or Jesus, or whoever you work with, draw on that male aspect, that masculine aspect, to make you feel more able to put up boundaries, more certain. But if that doesn't work for you, and if a strong divine feminine energy works for you to make you feel powerful, draw on that energy. It can be someone who's living. It can be someone who's passed away. Spirituality is at our fingertips, and it's there just to make us grow. So use those energies. If you're feeling weak, draw on an energy that makes you feel strong. Okay. Sometimes I go on too much. And then you are promised this transformation. This transformation doesn't just come about. It's all this work that you do, this willingness to go within. To go within, you need to do that withdrawing from the outside and seek guidance. This could be meditation. It could be just making sure that you have 10, 15, 20 minutes alone every day to just listen, to just sit and listen to your higher self. If you pray, it's making sure that you spend time praying. And then, so I would say that's one of the important things you need to look at. And that's the other one, is just looking at how and where are you imbalanced, and how can you bring more balance? How can you use your imagination? How can you use prayer? How can you use spirit and guides to bring that balance? You know where you feel imbalanced. So if that's your imbalance, what is the thing that brings balance for you? Okay, beloved, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that helps. Lots of love to you, and I'll be in touch again soon. Bye. Welcome back, my Selenite group. And for me, Selenite is such a beautiful healing crystal linked to the moon. And I think the moon is powerful. The moon helps guide our emotions, and it's a powerful guide to work with. Just working with the moon can make you feel so powerful. It's mysterious, but very powerful, hey? The moon affects the tides of the ocean. So how powerful is that? So I think you are being guided to work with the moon. In the Celtic Cross, just trying something different. And I'm sorry it's going to be reversed, but I'm using a new laptop, and I think the settings are different, and I only realized after I started. Okay, reverse. Okay, the tower's come up again. So let's see. I'll put it in a way that you can see it. Okay, but I'll show you the cards. So at the center, you have the Nine of Gabriel, and it says, stay determined and move forward, be prepared for any possibility. So the Nine of Gabriel, normally it shows a person putting down their heavy burdens they've been working really hard, and you have this in the reverse. So I'm feeling that perhaps you are still feeling quite burdened. But there's a reminder with the Nine of Gabriel, the Nine of Wands, that your burdens are also your treasures. Those things that make right now and for the rest of the year making you feel burdened are actually, you've worked hard to gain all those things, which are skills and resources. So there's some value in them. So don't undervalue what you've done and what you've achieved. And with the Seven of Ariel, it's saying the same thing. You've invested wisely, have patience, and wait for the harvest. So this talks about patience and trusting that what you've worked for will bear fruit. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I think that's the thing. What you put in and you will get your rewards. That's what it's talking about. But you do have the Seven of Ariel in reverse, and that suggests that you might be impatient. So you're being cautioned to be just patient. You've done all the hard work. Don't give up now. Then you have the King of Gabriel. What you need to think about is the King of Gabriel in the upright, in the reverse. And the King of Gabriel says, keep your eye on the big picture, leave the details to others. So I think there's something changing for you. Yeah, you might not be able to see. I think you need to think about yourself as the King of Wands. And you're not seeing yourself as the King of Wands right now, so that's what you need to think about. The King of Wands is a leader, passionate, fiery, able to start projects and go with them. And the kings are all very stable energies, and yours and this king is the stable king with the passion, with the wands, with the fire. So you have that, and you need to stop not seeing, like, I think you have glimpses of yourself as the King of Wands, and then you think, oh no, could it really be me? Yes, it can be you, and it is you. So I think you need to be owning your King of Wands energy, right, for the next few months till the end of the year. That is your guidance. And beneath the surface, you have the Four of Raphael, which is the Four of Cups. In this deck, it says, seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, be aware of your own emotions. So this is beneath the surface. So generally the Four of Cups is like an offer, an emotional offer, but you might be too busy looking at the negative to see that offer. So what I would say is open yourself to all possibilities. Open yourself to offers. Be careful not to reject an offer because you're not sure or doesn't feel right. Think about it before you reject it, right? You have in the near future the Knight of Michael, which is the Knight of Swords. Strong, committed, intellectual, diligent. It's time to move quickly. Choose logic over emotions and sudden changes. So, and you get this change here, sudden change. I think that this group has a positive energy forward. I think you get almost the cards are giving a go ahead. You've done all the hard work. You've got all the resources you need. All that hard work, your bag is full of wisdom and energy and projects, and there's lots of wonder, and you've built up your resource base. You've got a lot that you might not even realize you have, and because of that, you might have this energy of wanting to charge forward. And I think that the reading seems to be saying all systems go. Don't hold back. I think that's lovely, that you will have this energy to move forward on something, and you'll move forward with a clear head. Like the Knight of Swords is still young, but because of that youth, You know, the Page of Swords is a little bit immature, is what, innocent. The Knight of Swords might be young and restless, or maybe a little bit immature, but it's because of that willingness to take things on. You know, as we get older, sometimes or wiser, we might not want to take risks. This is talking about taking risks and trusting. So I think you might be taking risks soon. And that's wonderful, because also you have as you, the Ace of Gabriel, the Ace of Wands, you are in a passionate new beginning stage. Trust that. You have your wand in your hand, and you know what? The Ace of Wands, this is an angel with the wand. You have divine spirit on your side. You have, however you believe, if it's energy, if it's the guides, if it's spirit you have, but you have something divine and powerful on your side. It's like this is your time, ripe for a new beginning. Grab it, you know. However, there's a caution around you. There's this feeling of being trapped, and you know, it could be people around you who might caution you, might be afraid for you, but it might be you yourself. You can be free. Make a courageous, you can be free. Make a courageous choice to change your situation. So, and not seeing things clearly. So this is that thing of feeling trapped when you aren't. So I think don't talk yourself into believing that you're trapped, because you aren't. Let go of those bonds that tie you, if they're in your head, or yeah, they're probably in your head. Nobody's tying you up, I hope, unless it's for good thing, for good reason. So let that go. You have all these wonderful fire on your side. Oh, and you know what? I didn't see this communication. Some communication that came in is what is leading to this. Really nice. And then you have the King of Ariel. And the King of Ariel is, this is the King of Coins. And this is your advice card. Trust that you have this. This is like a money, and wow, look at it. You've got swords, you've got loads of fire, and then you've got one emotional card and these two, one saying be patient and the other saying, must come back to that, right? I think that this is being patient with yourself, but at the same time, and because you're patient and valuing your worth, you are able to take those leaps of faith, harness your Ace of Wands energy. But here, the advice is trusting in your ability to make those things, which is the make those things from heaven, those things that you dreamed of, make them a reality. That's what the King of Coins is saying. It says, your plans are working out very well, professional and financial success, using resources wisely. Trust yourself. And then you have, as an outcome, you have this tower. You know, the tower is coming up again and again, and it came up in the midweek one card draw that I do. And I think your tower is saying a sudden revelation that offers freedom, break free. So this is like an outcome card. Let me think about that. It's so interesting. It's come up for, I think, 3 of the readings, this tower. So this is in the reverse. So I'm feeling that your tower is not going to be like cataclysmic tower. It's going to be like, it might, but it's going to be joyful. I don't know, that's the feeling that I have, that there's something joyful. You know, this group got only one major arcana, and yet it's such a powerful reading. It's also a very positive reading. So trust, beloved. So, okay, let me just remind you of your work is to trust in what you've built. Be patient with yourself, value what you've built. See yourself as the King of Wands. See yourself as the King of Coins. You have those two energies working on your side. Turn this, believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself. And harness this Ace of Wands energy. If there's something new that you want, a new project, go for it. I think that the cards are saying go for it. Okay. And I think that in the months ahead, you might find yourself very busy. And I think that whatever has come in, has presented itself to you, I think you are being guided to trust yourself and go for it. If you ever feel shaky, just draw on the King energy, right? Believe that you're the King of Wands and you have this King of coins. What a combination. So just remind yourself of that, right? So I think that's your task for the months ahead. It looks like it's really exciting. I would say also just be diligent. Just keep on plodding. If whatever you're doing requires plodding kind of work, keep on doing it. You've come so far. Stay determined and move forward. So there's such a move forward kind of energy with you. Oh, and I want to leave you with one thing. Just work with the moon. Work with the energies of the moon. If you feel stuck, work with the energies of the moon. At the full moon, release things, sit under the full moon and release stuff. At a new moon, put your offerings out there, say what it is, verbalize what it is you want, or write what it is you want to magic into your life and trust. Okay, beloveds, I'm so happy to leave on such a positive, powerful note. I hope that the rest of 2020 is all this for you. And I wish you all the best. I'll be in touch again soon. Take care. And yes, lots of love to you. Goodbye. Bye, Group 4.